Hello, this is Heather from Mama's Midlife Mess. Welcome or welcome back if you're coming to revisit me. I have some interesting statistics and a little bit of free time that I can talk to you about that. I was talking to some people about caregiving and how hard it is for them for multi-generational, and then I saw that on my AARP flyer that 60% of women are multi-generational caregivers in my age group, so the 50 to 60 range in the United States. And I was really surprised by that. I think that you feel like you're the only one when you're in this situation. I feel like I'm the only one. Like there's nobody else who's dealing with this, and I've encountered a few people that are, and it's a great resource to talk to people like that. And I've also been considering some counseling for myself if I can find some time to do that. But 60% are women and caring for multiple generations. And that's the case with me at my house, where I have my adult daughter and granddaughter living with me, and my parents live on the road behind me. So it's quick and easy to run over there. That part I'm thankful for. But they need a lot of care and a lot of monetary assistance. And for example, I have to run after work today and fill my vehicle up with fuel because they're going to a long distance doctor's appointment, and their cars are not as good and as functional as mine. My car's a 2013, but it's in good shape. It's the right height for them to get in and out of, and I don't mind them using that resource for their appointments. It's a long trip and my car's in better shape, so I'm thankful to be able to let them use that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about caretaking for multi-generations when we feel like we do, when we're in our 50s and 60s. And we're doing this while our own bodies are starting to fail and change from perimenopause and menopause and things that affect our own health. Menopause affects our mood, it affects our bones, it affects our sleep. And multi-generation caregivers already have a lot on their mind that affects our sleep and our mood. So having this added thing of menopause or perimenopause added to that is an extra, just like punch in the chops, because I'm already suffering with things that I want to do for my family, and then I have these things that pop up like night sweats and sleepiness and things like that that I didn't anticipate for my own body while I'm trying to do these other things. I also have suffered from a lot of loss of energy, and I've been using Rebound to help with that a lot. It's just a little bit of light jumping on a trampoline. I have degenerative disc disease, so I can't do anything impact. When I was younger, I was a runner. I would run all the time. And I'm not allowed to do any of that anymore. Anything high impact or lifting or things like that, I just can't do. I have to be real careful with movement. I can't afford surgery. And I'm in Ohio, which is cold and wet most of the time. And my back surgeon said, warm and dry if you want to be comfortable. It's just not where I am in life, so I'm not going to be doing that. But getting your energy back, I've been taking some vitamins, I've been trying to do the Rebound, and it's fun for me. Babies also get involved in that. and jumping on a trampoline real light. My grandbaby's 2, so she's not doing any power moves yet, luckily. And I've also suffered with some memory loss, and I've been taking something for that, maybe a little controversial, but it is helping me a lot. And I'll get into that probably in another video, probably pretty soon, because it's made a huge difference for me. It's just a oral medication that you can take. And I've read recent reports that say that women live longer than men, but are in poor health 25% or more than men. And we barely have time to care for ourselves while we're caring for everyone else. And I think that does beat us down. And it may be why we have worse health. We live longer, but we have worse health. And I think we just plug along through it, and then, you know, we're at our own end. And somebody's doing the same things for us. I'm in the process of putting something together so there is a less of a burden on my family, and that's a lot of what I'm learning right now, is how I'm going to set myself up so none of these problems happen to my family in the future. I don't want them feeling these kind of burdens. I don't think we think about it until we're here in this time of life. But I'm here now, and I'm learning a lot of lessons, and they're painful lessons. I think it's just going to improve me. I think it's going to be less of a burden for my family in the future. I'm glad to be able to finance some of the things for my parents, but I live paycheck to paycheck, so it's kind of tough to do that. But this is where all of our choices really come into play. I stopped and got a frozen Coke today just because I wanted to have one, but it's a rare thing where A, I have the time, and B, I have the, I shouldn't say where I don't have the money for it, but I don't want to use those resources on myself in case something like diabetes medication for my mom comes up, or I need to order some new needles for her diabetic pen. There's just a lot of things that always can come up, and this is a caregiver in my age group issue for sure. And even if with extended means, you may not always have the time that you want to have in your caregiver role. I feel guilty a lot about watching grandbaby only for the sake or for the reason that I'm not going to spend more time with my parents. I don't want to take baby over to my parents. They have a lot of things in their house that she can get into, and then I don't feel safe with her around. I've revamped my house back to during my baby years, where I have the covers on the plugs, I have everything up high, there's no trip hazards around, there's nothing that's going to fall on her, there's nothing that's going to break if she touches it. My parents' house is a totally different thing, and that's another thing we'll have another video about, is my parents suffer from hoarding, and that's another huge burden that I'm not looking forward to dealing with. But it is another large number of the population that I'm surprised to learn. And I'm going to be talking about that really soon, because it's something we're staring at right now with my mom having pancreas cancer. Life expectancy for pancreas cancer isn't fabulous. Even if things go really great, like your long-term expectancy just isn't good. And I'm looking kind of past my current events and into the future. And the future, It's very complicated with my parents and their home. So I'm not executor of their estate, so we'll see what my sibling does. I'm just not looking forward to the prospect of cleaning out that mess. And that's another thing that I'm going to be suffering with myself. I store a lot of things, and I'm going to name it and call myself what it is. It is hoarding. And my main issue is food. I keep everything in date, all these things, but I have a problem. And that's another thing I need to talk to a counselor about. It's not like my parents. And this is it's just another caregiver issue that's overwhelming to me in my current situation, caregiving for my parents, and how it's going to affect my children if I would continue down that path. I don't want anything affecting my children. So I'm fighting against that immediately. And you don't think about these things till you have to think about these things. And I'm here thinking about these things now. So with perimenopause, with my own health issues, with my parents' health issues, and this multi-generational health or multi-generation caregiving, it really will beat you down if you let it. And we're in Ohio, so it's going to be like crappy weather. I don't want to be getting sick. All things you have to think about. You don't want to get baby sick. You don't want to get your parents sick while they're going through chemotherapy. All these things that you really need to think about, and I am a lot. I get upset when I can't make some of my parents' appointments, even though I let them use my vehicle. I'd like to be there and stay the best informed that I can, because they don't always come back and communicate with some solid information. So how I'm managing this season with grace and gratitude, I am embracing every generation's strengths. My daughter can help me with a lot of technical stuff. My grandbaby in the home just gives me all the energy and joy that is her little 2-year-old superpower, that she just brings me back to current events. There's nothing else you can think about with a 2-year-old in the house than that 2-year-old while you're spending time with her. And it's one-on-one, and that's so important. And my parents, we're starting to sort through some things, and we're recalling memories. We're going through old memories together, old photos. It's so nice to hear these stories, and I'm glad that we have this amount of time to do those things. A lot of people don't get that time, and I feel terrible about that for them. We may have a rough road coming, and we're starting a very long and rough road, but we have the road that we're on and we can take, and we have time, and that's so important to me. Clear communication has been one thing for sure. I'm having family meetings. I'm discussing what everybody's role is going to be here. Everybody's expectations need to be managed. I communicate clearly my schedule. I hang up a calendar for my at-home people, for my daughter and my granddaughter. My number one thing is, a rule for me is one extra thing a day. I won't do more, and I can't do more. For my own health and wellness, I can't do more than one extra thing a day. If I have an appointment, that's what it is. That's my one extra thing. And I'm saying extra besides watching baby, meal prepping for my parents, and my job. I can do one extra thing besides those things, normally. So if that's somebody's appointment, I can do that. If it's a run to the store, I can do that one thing. It's going to be a short thing unless I take a vacation day, but I can do that one extra thing a day. And that's where I cap myself. We have to take care of ourselves too. So let's make sure we're doing that. Let's keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers. Let's hang in there together. It's a large group that we have, and I'm thankful to know about this large group. I'm glad to know that a lot of us are in this together. And even though we don't feel like we're in this together, it's a very isolating time of life if you let it be that. And I don't want anybody else to feel that way. So please communicate with me. I'll communicate with you. Last week was a super busy week, so I didn't get to talk to you. But I'm back, and we have a lot of things to talk about. Thank you for coming here today, spending some time with me, and I'll see you soon.